I'm Erin, and this is Post-its and Pens. Hello, and welcome to, or welcome back to, my channel. My name is Erin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around and join me in my little corner of YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram at Post-its and Pens. I will leave the link in the description below. In today's video, I am going to take you through a recap of my March and April beauty budget. I mentioned in my low-buy introduction, which I will link up in the cards here, that I have a $200 beauty budget per month that I am following this year. So I track all of my purchases and keep track of how much money I am spending. So today I'm going to just give you a recap. So let's go ahead and get into the video. If you watched my low-buy introduction, which I will go ahead and link up in the cards here, I am tracking all of my beauty purchases this year. I track them in this notebook right here, and I put them by month. So here was March's page, and I'm going to go ahead and go more in depth on each of these purchases. In March, I started with a budget of $242.11. I had $42.11 that rolled over from February, so I had a little bit more money than the $200. I try not to spend all of the money in my budget. Some months I have spent a little bit more, but I do try to make sure I have at least a little bit of money to roll over each month. That's just kind of a personal goal, if you will, to not spend the full $200 or the full amount of however much I have at the beginning. So yeah, that's just kind of something that I'm trying to do. So let's go ahead and I will show you exactly what I purchased in March. The first purchase that I made in March was actually on March 1st, and that was a sunscreen purchase. Now, I decided to try out the Erin's Faces Peptide SPF. If you follow Hannah Louise Poston, this probably looks really familiar to you, as this is a favorite of hers, and that is actually why I decided to go with it. I did purchase the 2 fluid ounce container, which sells for $40. It's a pretty hefty price tag, and I didn't really want to spend the full amount for the large size if I wasn't sure how I would like it. However, I do like it a lot. It sinks into the skin really nicely, and it looks really good under makeup, so I'm happy with the purchase. If you don't mind spending a little bit more for your sunscreen, I would recommend it. The next purchase I made was on May 2nd, and that was because I'd run out of 2 of my more staple products. So I had used up a cleansing balm and I'd finished my concealer. So to replace that, I purchased this Tula Cleansing Oil. This is the hashtag no makeup cleansing oil. This retails for $32, and I purchased this from Ulta. And I also repurchased this Nars Soft Matte Concealer. This is in the shade Light 2.3 Matte. I actually purchased this from Nars website, and this retails for $34. Now, I have used this cleansing oil previously and really do enjoy it. It emulsifies really well and it removes all of your eye makeup, so I would give it a recommendation if you're interested. This concealer is one that I have been using for years. This is a different shade than I have been using. It's a newer shade that they added to the range. However, I do think I ultimately like the shade in Vanilla a little bit better. It's a little bit better match for my undertone, but this one's perfectly serviceable and I don't mind that I have it. It also lasts for a very, very long time, so you definitely get your money's worth, especially if, like me, you only use it for spot concealing. The next purchase that I made was on March 4th, and I made a purchase from e.l.f. I decided to pick up 2 of their bite-sized quads, so I picked up the Mint Melt quad. This one retails for $4. And I also picked up the Rose Water quad. This one retails for $3. So for a total of $7, I got 4 new eyeshadows. They're quite nice, especially this one. This one is a great everyday one. This one's a little bit more difficult to work with. It's got a little bit more fallout, but I liked the colors and didn't have anything like it in my collection, and I figured $4 was not a bad way to add those colors in. So I would recommend them. They're definitely inexpensive. They do the job. and they're fun to work with. The next purchase that I made in March was on March 14th, and it was a trip to Target. I picked up this Sally Hansen nail polish. This retails for $7.99. I also picked up this matte top coat from the Ella+Mila brand, and it retails for $8.99. My big purchase was a top from the Knox Rose brand. I will put a picture right here because mine is in the wash. I have that purple shade in that photo, which is currently sold out, but they do have a couple of other colors available if you're interested, and your local Target might have it in stock as well. It's just sold out at mine. However, you can probably get it for a pretty good deal. Target has a lot of sales going on, but the full retail price is $29.99, and that is what I paid for mine. I really like the Knox Rose brand. It has a lot of feminine detailing and is just really flattering on my body, so I do have a lot of their tops, and I was happy to pick up that purple one to add to my collection. The last purchase that I made in March was actually on March 19th, and it was during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, where I picked up 2 Becca highlighters because they were selling for half off. And with Becca going out of business in September, I figured now was the time to get them, especially since they were on sale. So I went ahead and picked up the 2 shades. The first shade I picked up was Rose Quartz. And the second shade I picked up is their iconic Champagne Pop. Now, I have not used either one of these highlighters as of yet because I am trying to pan a Physicians Formula cream highlighter. If you'd like to watch my Project Pan video, I'll link it up here for you where I show you where I'm at with that. It's almost finished, so I am excited to finally be able to move on and try out these 2 new highlighters, as well as another one that's in my collection. But I'm very happy that I was able to get these for half off. I don't think I would have purchased the full size otherwise, but yeah, more bang for your buck, I guess, when you basically got 2 for the price of 1. Those were all of the purchases that I made in March, and in March I spent a total of $197.97. So I did have some money to roll over into April, and we'll go ahead and move on into April's purchases right now. Here is my tracking of my April purchases. And I'll go ahead and go more in depth. So for April, I started with a budget of $244.14. I purchased 9 products in April, and just as a recap, it was 10 products in March. But the first purchase in April that I made was actually from Maurice's, which is a clothing company. I bought 2 shirts. I will go ahead and put pictures here. So the first one was a green striped sweatshirt. This retailed for $22.42. And the second item was a teal crew neck sweatshirt, which retailed for $22.43 because they were having a sale, which is pretty much the only reason that I'd picked those 2 shirts up. On April 8th, I picked up a little mini of the Biossance Squalane plus Vitamin C Rose Oil. I actually got this from a seller on eBay. They were selling this for $16.99, and it's going to last a very, very long time. So I purchased this in early April, and I'm still only right here after using it daily. So you definitely have quite a lot of product to work with. This is 10 milliliters if you are curious. And this, again, was $16.99 from that seller on eBay. The next 2 items that I purchased were purchased on April 11th. I picked up this e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist. This retails for $8. And I also picked up the Anastasia Beverly Hills Perfect Brow Pencil. This retails for $23. Now, I mentioned in my empties video, again, I'll link it up here, that I had been using the NYX eyebrow pencil, but I was going through about one of those a month, and they're $10 each time I had to repurchase. This one is $23, and my guess is that it's going to last much, much longer because it is a sharpenable pencil. So I definitely think it will be a better value for my money, and hopefully it will work the way that I want it to work. But regardless, it's what I'm going to be using. So fingers crossed. The next purchase that I made was actually on April 13th, and it was part of the Sephora VIB sale. So I picked up this Rare Beauty concealer brush. This retailed for $12 with the Sephora discount. And I picked up the Jouer Soft Focus and Set Powder. This retails for $28. Now, if you watched my empties video, you'll remember that I'd thought that I was finished with the Bye Bye Pores pressed powder, only to discover a little mini lurking in a box. So that is why I went ahead and picked this up, because I thought I was going to be out of the one that I'd been using, only to find that little mini. So this one's just gonna wait a little bit longer until I get that mini finished. I do think it will probably be finished by the end of May, so it wasn't too bad of a purchase in terms of how long I'm going to have to wait to use it, but I definitely could have held off longer than I'd originally thought. The last purchase that I made in April was on April 14th. I picked up a set of 8 Kitsch hair ties. This is 3 of them. There were 8 total in the package, and it retailed for $7.95. And I also picked up another 3-pack of the CosRx Acne Pimple Master Patch, which retails for $13. So in April, I spent a total of $153.79 and picked up 9 new items. Since it is now May, I am tracking my purchases again, and I wanted to go ahead and give you the total for what I'm working with this month. So with the rollover from April, I currently have a budget of $290.35. So that kind of gives you an idea of how I've been doing this. As I said, I do roll over any excess money, and I kind of just like to stay under that $200 when at all possible. And I say when at all possible, but like, it's definitely possible because I could just not buy anything, right? But where's the fun in that? So yes, I do try to have that access to roll over, just kind of as a little personal goal that I'm working toward. And just because I like to see if I can stay under that total. So that was a little recap of my spending in March and April of 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.